Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Commerce Tutorpedia. In this video, we are going to discuss about IMF latest World Economic Outlook update, and we are also going to talk about IMF and India. Now this is a very important video regarding IMF. So if you find this video helpful, then do like, share and subscribe Commerce Tutorpedia. In this video, these are the topics that we are going to discuss. That is the introduction to IMF, that what is IMF, what are its functionings, and we are going to talk about World Economic Outlook by IMF. This is one of the publications of IMF. We are also going to talk about India and IMF and latest World Economic Outlook update. Let us first understand what is IMF. Now, IMF stands for International Monetary Funds. This is the logo of IMF. The IMF is an international financial institution headquartered in Washington, D.C., consisting of 190 countries. Now, what does it mean? It means there are 190 member countries in IMF. Its stated mission is, इसका जो stated mission है, is working to foster global cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. Now this is very important. Okay, we need to know the stated mission of IMF when we are studying about monetary fund. All right, now. It was formed in 1944 and started on 27th December 1945 at the Bretton Woods Conference. I will make a separate video about Bretton Woods Conference, so you will be able to understand in-depth knowledge of Bretton Woods Conference. Okay, now primarily by the idea of, now it was formed primarily by the idea of Harry Dexter White and J.M. Keynes. Okay, students who belongs to economic background, they know Keynes very well. Okay, they must have heard about J.M. Keynes in many books. It came into formal existence in 1945 with 29 members. So basically, initially, IMF was having 29 member countries at its when it was formed. It plays a central role in the management of balance of payment difficulties and international financial crisis. Now, who runs IMF? As you can see, I have posted various photos. Now, Kristalina is the managing director of IMF, and we are having deputy managers at IMF from different countries. And this is the most important person that we need to learn is Geeta Gopichand. She is the first deputy managing director of IMF. All right. Now, this is also a very important question from your current GK. Now, who runs the IMF? IMF is accountable to its member countries' government. At the top of organizational structure is the Board of Governors, consisting of one governor and one alternative governor from each member countries, usually the top officials of the central bank or finance ministry. The Board of Governors meets once a year at the IMF World Bank annual meetings. 24 of the governors serves on the International Monetary and Financial Committee or IMFC, which advises the IMF's executive board. Okay, the day-to-day work of the IMF is overseen by 24 members executive board, which represents the entire membership and is supported by IMF staff. The managing director is the head of IMF staff, and you can see her name over here. And the chair of the executive boards is assisted by the 4 deputy managing directors, and you also can see them here. Now, IMF has different publications. It used to publish different outlooks. You can see all the publications of IMF here. First one is World Economic Outlook that we are going to discuss here in this video. Another one is Global Financial Stability Report, Fiscal Monitor, Regional Economic Outlook, Finance and Development Annual Report. These all are the publications of IMF. Alright, so you need to learn this also. Now let us see how IMF and India are related. Okay, now this is the very important part, and you will see these questions to write down essays or in the economic book. This is one of the most important topic, that how whenever you are going to learn about IMF, you have to dig into IMF and India relationships. Okay, now India is a founder member of the IMF. International regulation by IMF in the field of money has certainly contributed towards expansion of international trade. India has benefited from these fruitful results. Now, post-partition period, India had serious balance of payment deficit, particularly with the dollar and other hard currency countries. It was the IMF that came to her rescue. The fund granted India Fund means IMF granted India loans to meet the financial difficulties arising out of the Indo-Pak conflicts of 1965 and 1971. India has occupied a special place in the board of directors of the funds. Thus, India has played a creditable role in determining the policies of the fund. India has not taken any, now this is very important for Indian person, India has not taken any financial assistance from the IMF since 1993, and I have to inform you that all the loans that have been taken by India from IMF has been repaid. Alright, now according to Wikipedia and other IMF official websites, now this information has been stated over there only. The Finance Minister of India is the ex officio governor on the board of governors of the IMF. Okay, now there is one specific thing that I need to mention over here. That is why I pasted over here that what are SDRs. We know that SDRs are published by IMF, and I will make a separate video talking about SDR. Okay, now IMF issues an international reserve assets known as special drawing rights or SDRs that can supplement the official reserves of member countries. Total global allocations are currently about, now currently total SDR allocations are about 204.2 billions, about $293 billions. IMF members can voluntarily exchange SDR for currencies among themselves. Now let us talk about latest World Economic Outlook update regarding India. In its latest World Economic Outlook update, the IMF lowered the growth projection for. So in the latest World Economic Outlook update, it has been said that the IMF lowered the growth projection for the global economy. It pointed out that the stalling of growth in the US, China and Euro area has major consequences of global outlook. Now, what does World Economic Outlook reflects? It reflects, or it has lowered down the growth projection of the overall global economy. And the major reasons are stalling of growth in the US, China and the Euro area. The Indian economy is estimated to grow by 7.4% in current fiscal 22 and 23. This is sharply slower than the IMF early forecast of 8.2%. Okay, earlier it has forecasted that India's GDP in 22 and 23 will be 8.2%, but now it has lowered to 7.4% due to the impact of war in Ukraine and surging inflationary pressure and rapid interest rate hikes. Now I need to make a new video on inflation particularly, and I will discuss there how inflation is going to affect India's economy and the global economy as a whole. Okay, I have already discussed about federal rate hikes in my early video. The latest projection by IMF enables India to retain its fastest major economy tag. Now, even though it has lowered the growth projection, still India is unable to retain its fastest major economy tag for the current fiscal year and the next. The growth estimates for India are in line with the RBI, what RBI have already projected, the 7.2% range. India's economy is estimated to grow by 6.1% in 23 and 24 fiscal year. Now this is a very important thing. Okay, if you will see the graph, you will see that world's growth has been expected in 22 is 3.2% and in 23 2.9%. For the US, which is the most important country, its growth rate has been expected in 22 GDP growth rate, that is 2.5%. Alright, and in 2023 it is expected or projected as 1.4%, whereas for China in 2022 it has been projected that the growth rate will be 3.3%, and in 2023 it will be 4.6%, whereas for India, as you can see, India's projected growth rate will be 7.4%. Now you can compare the growth rate. That is why it has been said that in the latest projection also India was unable to retain its fastest major economy tag. Right, now this is very important news. That is why I thought about making video about this topic. Now the IMF said downgrades for China and the US as well as India are the driving the downward revision to global growth during 22 and 23, which reflect the materialization of downside risk highlighted in the April. It was already highlighted in April 2022 World Economic Outlook by IMF. These are a sharper slowdown in China due to lockdowns, tightening global financial condition associated with expectations of steeper interest rate hikes by major central banks to ease inflationary pressure and spillovers from the. So these are the basic reasons for this downgrading. Now the global inflation has been revised. Okay, in this particular outlook or report, the global inflation has been revised due to food and energy prices as well as lingering supply demand imbalances, and it is anticipated to reach 6.6% in advanced economies like China and USA, 9.5% in emerging markets and developing economies like India. In 2023, disinflationary monetary policy is expected to bite, with global output growing by just 2.9%. Now, these were the briefs of World Outlook report, World Economic Outlook report by IMF. I hope these informations will be helpful to you guys in summarize all the important highlights of these reports. If you find this video helpful guys, then I request you all to like, share and subscribe Commerce Tutorpedia. So that is it for today guys. Thank you.